Hi guys, welcome back to today's video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my tested and trusted back to school do's and don'ts. If this sounds like something you'd be interested in, please stick with me. I bet we've all had a fantastic summer holiday. However, the end of summer is near, and parents and their children far and wide are currently feeling the anxiety of returning back to school and making the most of the new school year. In my experience, anticipating the new school year and planning and structuring the first few weeks of the new school year always makes the big difference. With that in mind, here are some do's and don'ts for families that want to start the school year right and make the best of it. The number one point on my back to school list is do get back into routine. There are so many things that are positive about summer, ranging from spending more time with family, also new experiences and opportunities for your children. However, summer holidays is also a disrupting time for kids who tend to forget that they have to return to school. So, ahead of the school resumption, I strongly suggest that you start to make the necessary adjustments to returning back to your usual school day routine. There is actually no point denying that school is coming back. However, preparing ahead of time will definitely really help. To get back into routine, you want your children to start having normal school-like hours, which, trust me, they are going to resist. Adjust bedtime back to normal. For us, my children go to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening. We're already getting back into the normal sleeping routine for school days. Additionally, my children already started waking up at the normal school time that they wake up. This is to enable us transition into this new school routine seamlessly and with little or no resistance. I mean, you would agree with me that the fact that they've been able to sleep a little later than normal during the holiday and wake up later than normal during the holiday will definitely bring up some kind of resistance towards going back to normal school sleeping time and waking up time. However, doing this early enough before school resumes is going to go a long way in helping them transition back into school season and overall making it easier for every single one of us. The other thing that I would also recommend in terms of getting back into routine is to have them do the normal things they would do on school days. So when they wake up in the morning, get them back into the routine of brushing their teeth, getting ready for school, and pretty much having breakfast at the normal time you guys would do it if school was in session. In adjusting back to the school routine, I would also recommend that you adjust their screen time. So if they were watching TV to a certain time during summer holiday, you want to dial their screen time backwards to at least enable them rest and relax before they eventually sleep. So I'm suggesting make sure that screen time ends an hour before bedtime. That way, maybe they have to read their bedtime stories, read a book before they go to sleep, but at least they can relax before they eventually go to sleep. The second thing on my list is do have a trial run. By trial run, I mean do the things that you would typically do on a school day. For example, drive by the school environment. If the school is open, go to the school, have a walk around the school, look at the classes, introduce them to their teachers. If they're going to be walking to school themselves, let them walk to school with you so they have an idea, especially for children who are just starting a new year or a new school. Walk to their school with them or drive to school with them. See how long it takes you to drive them to school. That enables all of you to manage expectations and plan ahead to say, we need to be awake an hour before we start to leave home for school so that you don't get to school late. For children who are going to a completely new school, it is important that you have a dry run. This enables them understand what they need to do to get to school, the routes that they would also use to get to school. The third thing on my back to school do list is that you do talk about changing friendships. Particularly for children who are going to a new school, changing a new environment, it can be particularly difficult for them in terms of friends. The friends they used to have will no longer be their friend. They now have to change new friends, start to make new friends, and also the ability to be able to share friends and have friend overlap is a skill that you want to help them to build before school resumes. Explaining to them the challenges of changing school, changing friends, having new friends, being able to choose new friends is something that you want to have discussion about ahead of school so that you help your children manage the anxiety that comes with this. Helping your children understand that their BFF in 1 year or from one school will no longer be their BFF in a new school, in a new year, depending on whatever the circumstances that is causing the change, is a discussion that you want to have ahead of time. This helps these children to understand that this is a normal and a natural life phenomenon that happens to everyone, and having this discussion helps them to be able to manage this painful process. It is painful to lose friends, and it is challenging to start to make new friends. However, helping your children develop this skill ahead of the new school term is going to help them manage this situation, manage this change better, also help them settle in seamlessly into school and start to make friends faster. So do talk about changing friendships and changing relationships, especially if your children are moving from one school to another or 1 year to another. The number 4 thing on my back to school do list is that you do help your children manage their commitments. The tricky part about returning to school is that the first few weeks are usually very study light and very, very easy. A lot of students and children get the feeling of, oh, this is easy, I can take on so many things. So they end up packing on so many extracurricular activities, thinking that they have all the time and all the capacity in the world. However, as schoolwork becomes more heavier and more busier, children tend to struggle because they now have so many extracurricular activities plus their study on one other hand, and then they find it difficult to find the balance and deal with this. So as parents, ahead of the school resumption, it is important to sit down with your children, have a look at some of the things that they've done before in their past years for extracurricular activities. Ask them questions about what they want to continue, what they want to drop, and things that they want to start, while also considering their academic commitments. My recommendation is that you wait till the middle of October before they start to take on extracurricular activities. At this time in October, they will have had a fair understanding and clear picture of what studying and academic load looks like for them, which then helps them to make a better decision about how much extracurricular activities they want to take on. If you do not do this ahead of school time, what happens is they end up taking on so much extracurricular activity that then start to affect their academics negatively. Also, this can also put some kind of pressure and anxiety on the children because they can only take on and do so much. So definitely you want to sit down with them and help them manage and plan their commitment in terms of their extracurricular activities so that they can find a great balance between their academics and extracurricular activities in order to be able to settle into the new school year seamlessly, easily, and successfully. If you have older kids, it is important to manage your own expectations of them and also allow them to make some decisions of what they want to do outside of academics by themselves. This helps them understand that some of these things, the responsibility lies upon them. Also, this gives them the feeling of control, that they have control over their life, they have control over the things that they are committing to. And then he also showed them that they can practice balance in their own life because they're going to end up being the one managing academics and any of these extracurricular activities that they take on. Manage your expectations as parents. Allow your older kids some liberty, some leeway to choose the things that they are happy about, things that they want to do, so that they can then find the right balance by themselves because of their commitment. And also the fact that they are also involved in making these decisions also improves ownership, helps them to actually own the responsibility of making these things work or ensuring that they find the balance between their academics and their extracurricular activities. So definitely help them to manage their commitment ahead of school resumption so that they can settle in seamlessly, easily, and successfully. Now, on to the don'ts. The number one thing on my back to school don'ts is don't share your anxieties. As parents, because we love our children so much, we can get easily caught up in the anxiety of, oh, they're going to a new school. How are they going to cope? Would they be able to make friends? Would they be able to manage? And a whole lot of other things that we parents worry about. However, our children don't process this information the same way. When we share this kind of fear and worry about them going to a new school with them, we tend to start to put them under unnecessary pressure. So I would say you can have all of these anxieties because they are valid, they are normal, you are a parent, you love your child. However, do not share these anxieties with your children because they may not be able to process it and handle it better. Then it starts to put pressure on them unconsciously. For example, when school resumes and your children start to come back from school, maybe from the first week, we'll be tempted to start asking things like, did you make friends today? Oh, tell me about this friend. Children may start to interpret this negatively in terms of shaming them, for example, if they didn't make any friends. However, my recommendation is that you ask them neutral questions such as, tell me what you liked about your day today. How was your day today at school? Instead of specific questions that put them in a box and make them start to feel like a failure if they did not achieve any of those, because we are anxious. So don't share your anxieties with them. Be neutral, especially in the first few weeks after they've just resumed. Allow them settle in before you start to ask them specific questions, whether because you want to know, you're looking for ways to help or support them. Don't let your anxiety seep out to the point that it starts to affect your children negatively as they are going back to school. There is no reason to start to mouth or pronounce anxieties on them because it is counterproductive and you don't want to do that. The second thing on my back to school don't list is don't be afraid of setback. Especially if you've had a child who has struggled to return back to school before, don't assume that just because you have prepared ahead of time, you're going to 100% have an easy return back to school. So as a parent, my recommendation is that you manage your expectations. The fact that you have prepared ahead of school does not 100% guarantee that you're going to have an easy return to school. However, your preparation is going to help you manage expectations and also manage whatever challenges you and your child or your children face along the way, compared to someone who did not prepare ahead of time. Also, too often as parents, we have high expectations of our children. We often think that because we've taught them all these skills, they should easily transition into school days without any hiccups. But honestly, that's not how it works. It is important that we allow children to ease into this back to school as seamlessly and as comfortable as possible. Let's be honest, nobody wants to go back to school. Nobody wants to stop waking up at the time that they want. Nobody wants to stop going to sleep at whenever they want. So trust me, when these children start to push back, you need to understand that this is a normal reaction to this kind of discomfort that they're about to face. So manage your expectations. Don't expect that 100% everything is going to work out. Be prepared to manage whatever challenges or pushback that you get from your children. This is not only going to help your children, it is also going to help you and them better your relationship, manage your relationship, and also teach your children how to be confident in the face of setbacks. So manage your expectations and don't be afraid of setback, even though you are prepared ahead of the back to school time. The third thing on my back to school don't list is don't ignore problems. Many schools are fantastic, especially out here in the UK where I currently reside. And also these schools have talented teachers that are very caring and amazing administrators. However, you cannot expect the school to have all of the in-depth insight or knowledge about your child or their concerns or their needs. Sometimes a lot of the schools, they assume a standpoint of we're not going to do anything until we see a reason to. So my suggestion to you as a parent is that you be proactive. If you notice anything or you have any concern about your child's behavior, you think your child needs any kind of additional help, do not ignore this and be proactive. Jump on conversations with the teacher, the head teacher, whoever it is that you need to speak to in your children's school if you notice any kind of problem, no matter how small the problem is. Also, because you need to be your child's advocate, if you see them struggling with a certain kind of behavior or struggling with a certain kind of person, do not ignore that problem. Do not keep quiet. No matter how small that problem may seem right now, you need to address it with whoever it is that is responsible in the school so that this doesn't get bigger. As the children are returning back to school, so many other children are going to start school with them. So many other children have gone to different places and learned different behaviors. So when these new behaviors start to maybe affect your own child, you do not want to ignore those things. And also you want to pay attention so that you can pick this up really quickly and quickly address it so that your child can settle in seamlessly and have a successful school year. Trust me, it's better to say something sooner than later. So that will be it for this video on the back to school do's and don'ts for a successful year. If you find this video useful, please leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment on which of the points resonated with you the most. And don't forget to share this with another parent who would also be preparing for back to school season right now. I love to hear from you guys who are my subscribers and I love to connect. I love to hear your opinion. And also if you have any video recommendation, please do leave me this in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to oblige. Also, if it's your first time here, do well to subscribe. We have an amazing time over here and we're building this amazing community together. So definitely subscribe and hit the notification button so that whenever I put up a new video, you'll be the first to know. I am Gregory-jonah on all social media platforms. Hit the follow button and let's connect. Until next time and to an amazing back to school. Bye everyone.